Okay, here's the next machine I'm going to work on. It's pretty straightforward, Williams full house. Let's fire it up, see what happens. Actually, this is in pretty good shape. The main problem is the play field's very dirty, so I'm going to have to work on it, and needs new rubbers. Some are missized, some are gone. And then the left flipper, I don't know if you can see it in the video here, I'll try it. That's probably a problem. So I think it's a switch issue. Right flipper works fine. And there's rubber missing around this centerpiece. It's probably going to get stuck in it. Hey, all right. Anyway, this should be the next project. Should be pretty quick. I'm not going to worry too much about the cabinet right now. Alright, I'm kind of going over this Williams full house before I take the playfield apart to clean it, looking for mechanical issues. Looks like one I've got is the 10-point chime doesn't work, but the 100 does. If I come over here, and the single point does, the rollover. So I've got a problem with the 10-point chime. Another interesting thing is, watch the right hand pop bumper when I activate the left one. Both pop bumpers are going when one of them is engaged. The other issue is if I activate it, they stay down until I let go instead of releasing. So I'm not sure if it's missing some switches or if this Williams was built this way. I'll have to look at it. Okay, so here is the flipper problem. This is the right flipper which works fine. I'm going to actuate the flipper. Watch how this switch closes and this one opens. Pretty straightforward. Now let's move over to the left flipper, and here are the same two switches, the opposite. This one should close, this one should open. You see how that switch that's supposed to close is not closing, so we just need to update that switch. I wanted to try to show a little bit better lighting on the end of travel switch in the left flipper by activating it. You can see before these switches were not correct. This one is open right now. This one is closed. They should flip after the bumper goes. Now they're working, and I thought maybe it was just a case of bad switch contact. I didn't get it. I think I've got a bad relay. But when I turn it on, watch what happens. Alright, watch that coil and the switch. So I did a little bit more poking around. If I put an ohm meter across the right coil, the good coil, I get about 8.7 ohms, something like that. And then if I go between the center tap and the other side, it's one side is about an ohm, the other is, you know, about 8 ohms. When I go over here, it's open across the top, and it's 1 ohm here and open here. So a large part of this coil is open. I don't know if it's burned up or got a bad connection or what, but I'm going to have to take that off and take a look at it. Alright, so this, I'm going to take a break from the left coil and work on this plunger. It's firing off every couple seconds, which makes me wonder if this switch is acting up. The switch is normally open. When the ball actually is resting in the slot, it closes the switch, and then that's going to trigger the plunger to fire. So what I'm wondering is, even with no ball there, it looks like it's shorted. I'm going to see if my little multimeter trick will show me if this is a short or not. Yep, sure enough is. There's a short here, and I'm guessing these two connections are touching each other. I'm going to have to get up close and take a look. Okay, so the switch repair for this kickout switch, it was shorting out. There's a very small metal separator between the switch leaves, and it was bent up, so it was actually touching the upper part of the switch. It's connected through metal to the bottom half, so it was shorting out. So if I did this right, let's turn it on and see what happens. Alright, it's not kicking. What should normally happen is if the ball is here, switch closes, relay fires. Since that was shorted out, it was looking like this. And it just kept firing. So, at least one problem fixed. So I opened up the game looking for the 10-point scoring chime, and there is none. There's just the large bell that handles both 100 and 10. So I'm going to now look at finding the 10-point relay, see if I can see why we're not getting any chime on 10-point activation. So let's try to see what happens as we activate some of these scores. Here's 1 point. See, there's the 1-point relay on the bottom activating. Actually, there's the bell for 1 point right there. This is in the back box on the machine. Now let's see what we can see for 100. Activate something on the playfield with 100 points. So 100 is the top one. Okay, so let's see what we can see for 10. Well, you can see the 10-point relay is working fine. It's just that the contact for the bell for 10-point is not working. So I try to get a close-up of what's happening here. As I activate the 10-point relay, you can see the second switch in the back is not making contact. It's spread too far open. All the other switches are making, so that's the one that must be for the bell. I'm going to see if I can tune it back into shape. Alright, so again, second switch from the top on that top relay. You can see I bent the top part of the switch down to get a little closer to the bottom part. Let's see what happens when I activate 10-point. It's working great now. So first step is to disconnect the 3 wires from the relay. So it's here. We're going to loosen these 2 screws underneath and hopefully the whole relay will come out. So here's the new coil, and resistance across the entire coil is 8.3 ohms. If you go from the center tap to one side, the right side, looks like it's about an ohm. And then I checked earlier before I recorded this, it's the remainder, 6.5 or so, is over on this side. Alright, so here's the new coil. There's the original right coil. Let's see how I did. Okay, power's on. Let's hit that left flipper, see what happens. Perfect. Let's check the right one. Looks good.